When you think of chicken farms, you probably think of chickens crammed in cages no bigger than an A4 sheet of paper. According to the Food and Agricultural Organization, in 2023, 34.4 billion chickens were raised globally. Most of the chickens are forced to lay eggs up to 300 per year in these harsh conditions. A world where chickens roam freely, living in harmony with nature, may seem like a utopian fantasy. But it's a reality in parts of China. In Yangshan, Guangdong Province, mountainous regions, a unique method of raising chickens has been in operation for many years. Among the various free-range breeds thriving in Yangshan, the Yangshan chicken is renowned as one of Guangdong's 8 finest breeds. Yangshan chickens are muscular and easily distinguishable by their distinctive plumage, featuring a blend of 3 shades of yellow thanks to their organic corn diet. They reach maturity after 4 to 5 months of roaming the hills, and usually weigh in around 2.5 to 3 kilograms. Apart from Yangshan chickens, other chicken breeds capable of living at altitudes from 800 to 1500 meters above sea level are also raised in these high hills and mountains. The stark contrast between free-range and caged chicken farming lies in the birds' living conditions. Free-range chickens spend their lives roaming open hills, basking in the sun and foraging for food, a natural existence that promotes their physical and mental well-being. However, they don't produce many eggs, usually only around 100 to 120 eggs a year, and they are also smaller in size, weighing around 40 to 45 grams each. But all of their eggs are tastier and have a higher level of omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals. The more active chickens also produce a more flavorful and firmer meat that turns bright yellow when cooked. The journey of mountain chicken farming begins with high-quality eggs from a reputable hatchery or breeding farm. The ideal temperature for incubation is around 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit, with humidity levels ranging from 55 to 70%. It takes around 21 days for the chicks to hatch. In large-scale hatching operations, such as this one in Mingshui County, Heilongjiang Province, China, up to 400,000 chicks are hatched yearly. You see, the demand truly increased because this place used to only hatch 70,000 chicks just 5 years ago. Once hatched, the chickens are typically transferred to brooder pens, normally located in a windproof and well-ventilated, sheltered area. Before welcoming the newborn chicks, farmers line the pens with 7 to 10 centimeters of disinfected chaff or straw in order to provide insulation and warmth. The pen measures around 3 square meters and will fit 100 chicks. During the first 2 to 3 weeks, chicks are unable to regulate their body temperature effectively, so continuous lighting will keep them warm enough to eat and drink. Farmers will offer them clean, lukewarm water mixed with chick electrolyte supplements and 6 to 8 small meals per day. The chicks are still very weak, so farmers will keep everything clean, wash their troughs twice a day, and also give them medicine as prescribed by veterinarians. As chicks grow, organic food sources such as greens and forage are also provided in order to get them used to the food on the mountain. On a favourable day, the chickens are released onto the hills early in the morning, where they spend almost all of their day. Farmers follow and live stream them to build an online customer base in order to increase sales. The hills where the chickens roam are dotted with trees, providing ample shade and opportunity for the birds to perch, play, and even catch insects. The diet of free-range chickens is as diverse as their surroundings and are fed outdoors like this. In the summer, farmers hardly feed them because there is so many grasshoppers around. Some farmers get creative and encourage their chickens to run more by feeding them behind a moving car like this. Studies from Our World in Data have shown that free-range chickens experience 57 to 70% less pain and suffering compared to their caged counterparts. Recognizing the benefits of free-range practices, the EU plans to ban the use of any cage by 2027. To encourage egg laying, farmers construct simple nests using bamboo, wood, or leaves. In the mountainous regions of Xinjiang in northern China, over 50,000 chickens roam across 200 hectares of hills, laying their eggs in approximately 30 chicken barns built right there on the mountaintops. Their barns and sleeping areas are often designed like this, to save space and mimic the mountainous terrain. While most chickens prefer to lay their eggs in their nests, a few may choose to lay them under trees or just right here on the ground like this. To ensure no eggs are missed, farmers diligently check the barns and roaming areas to collect the eggs one by one, 2 times a day. Farmers with around 7,000 chickens can yield up to 9,400 eggs each day. Despite their large numbers, manual labour remains high in order to provide jobs for the locals in rural areas. Once collected, the eggs undergo a simple inspection and sorting process. To preserve the natural protective layer on the eggshell, they are only lightly cleaned. Workers carefully place the eggs into cardboard or plastic trays, ensuring that they are well protected during transportation. These trays are then loaded onto trucks and delivered to local markets and pre-ordered customers. Large-scale free-range egg producers often have their own on-site packing facilities, capable of packaging up to 74,000 eggs from all the nearby farms. These fresh, high-quality eggs are then distributed to the supermarkets and retail outlets, where consumers are willing to pay a premium price, typically $3 to $4 per dozen. Cage eggs may cost as little as $1.25 to $2 per dozen. When weather conditions are unfavourable, such as extreme heat or cold, the chickens are brought indoors to ensure their comfort and well-being is maintained. While indoors, large barns still provide them with enough room to stretch their legs, perch on platforms, and interact with each other. A typical free-range chicken barn can comfortably house around 600 chickens. Some farmers prepare fresh feed daily, combining locally grown ingredients from their hills with feed pellets. And of course, regular clean water is a must for these active chickens. The location of free-range farms is carefully chosen to minimize the risk of predation. However, in some cases, natural predators such as hawks and foxes may pose a threat. To protect their chickens, farmers remove bushes and predators' potential hiding places around the barn. They also build sturdy fences and regularly check the surrounding areas for signs of predator activity. And if predators are caught, they will be sold or eaten. The exact weight at harvest varies depending on the breed, but free-range chickens typically weigh between 1.8 and 2.4 kilograms. While lighter than their caged-raised counterparts, free-range chickens have more muscle mass and less fat. Chickens are selectively caught on the hills and transported to the local slaughterhouse. In large-scale operations on this farm, chickens are harvested in batches and transported to facilities on cool days to minimize stress and heat shock. With a capacity to process up to 15,000 chickens per hour, these facilities ensure a smooth and timely operation. Chickens are stunned either using gas or electrified water baths to render them unconscious. The chickens are then bled, passed through a hot water bath at around 55 degrees Celsius, which loosens their feathers, which are then removed using an automated feather removal machine. The legs and internal organs are then removed and packaged separately. The carcasses undergo multiple washing stages to ensure thorough cleaning and sanitation. Many processing plants offer whole chickens packaged with their internal organs. These whole chickens are typically sold at around $9.23 per kilogram. For those who prefer convenience, chickens can also be cut into various parts and packaged in trays. These pre-cut portions offer consumers a quick and easy way to prepare chicken meals. Black ash cheese, Humboldt fog and yogurt with 11 live probiotics. These are all world-famous American goat milk products. Creamy and easy to digest, goat milk has long been made into many specialties of this country. And although goat meat is twice as expensive as beef, demand for goat meat in the US has nearly tripled in just 2 decades. This is simply because it's delicious but super low fat compared to other meats in the typical American diet. Though the US is the largest importer of goats, making a profit from goat farming here isn't easy. Many livestock were killed by coyotes in the past. And today, their range is expanding at twice the rate of other carnivores in North America. So how do American farmers solve this problem? And how do they raise more than 2.5 million goats to meet this booming market? If you've ever visited a goat farm, you might be impressed by how friendly they are, like little dogs. But not all goats are like that. Male goats, or bucks, are rather aggressive and domineering. So farmers usually separate them from the herd, except in the fall from late August to early January, the goat breeding season. Female goats, or nannies, are pregnant for about 5 months. When their pelvic ligaments loosen up, farmers know they are about to go into active labor. With the farmer's dedicated care, the newborn baby goats and mama goat can finally relax. Goats have a high twinning rate, but according to studies, the average mortality rate for kids is 10 to 18%. An antibody-rich colostrum, which nannies secretes only in the first 36 hours after birth, is an essential nutrient to reduce this rate. The risk of death for nannies is also high. A few hours after giving birth, farmers must ensure that the placenta has been delivered completely. Otherwise, it can cause septicemia, meaning blood poisoning and even death. After about 8 weeks of bottle feeding, the kids are castrated to prevent inbreeding. Now, they gain at least about 0.3 pounds per day, but breast milk can no longer provide enough essential nutrients for this growth rate. So farmers have to take them out to pasture so that nannies can wean them. Unlike in the past, modern dairy goat breeds are crossbred to produce more milk. So their diet also requires more grains to provide enough energy, protein, and calcium. Just like other dairy animals, their milk flavor is what they eat. That's why Redwood Hill Farm in California, the first US goat dairy to be humane certified, grows its own feed for over 300 dairy goats. This has helped them preserve the delicious milk flavor, which is free from antibiotics and harmful hormones for the past 56 years. California has the most goat farms in the United States. And so, besides Redwood Hill Farm, there is also Cypress Grove Dairy with a herd of up to 1,400 dairy goats. Traditional hand milking is impossible with this large number of goats, so they have switched to a modern milking system called pit parlour. The first thing other farms usually do is disinfect the goats' udders with iodine. But at this farm, they play jazz music. They've tried different types of music, but this is the only type that the goats enjoy and don't startle when they're milked. This soft milking tube gently squeezes and releases, similar to how baby goats suckle. The milking process only takes a few minutes while they are nibbling on food and may not even realize they are being milked. Each year, this farm harvests about 6,000 gallons of goat milk. The freshly harvested milk is then cooled and transported to Cypress Grove's renowned creamery facility. Over the past 4 decades, tons of cheese have been produced here and shipped across the country. But Humboldt Fog stands out in the international cheese market as America's first soft-ripened cheese. Goats were first domesticated in the Fertile Crescent about 11,000 years ago. But it wasn't until the 17th century that they were brought to America by Spanish and English explorers. They are very good at adapting to different terrains and climates with their browsing habit. This means they prefer to eat tall plants over short ones, unlike other livestock. Therefore, traditional American farmers often apply this multi-species grazing model to both save feed costs and improve the quality of the pasture. Today, it is still practiced by many large and long-standing farms, such as White Oak Pasture in Georgia. With a large herd like this, farmers have to rotate pastures every 3 days because they eat so quickly. This also helps reduce the risk of worm infestation in goats. But this freedom also comes with a major risk: coyotes. You know, goats have very good eyesight, so they can go outside at night on their own. But this is also when coyotes go hunting. They often target kids or even lone adult goats separated from the herd. Hence, adequate fencing is always the first thing US farmers carefully install when raising goats. But as the number of goats killed by coyotes decreases, the goats themselves become the troublemakers. They are intelligent animals and constantly learn how to break fences and escape from pens. To stop them, many US farmers have started using electric fencing. This will give the goats a mild shock, only from 4.5 to 9 volts, which serves more as a psychological deterrent than physical harm. While this may increase the electricity bill, solar panels have helped reduce costs on large farms aiming for sustainability. Besides daily work, farmers also have to do many other jobs on the farm to ensure the best development of the goat herd, such as building shelters from the rain and cold so they don't get sick, trim their hooves regularly so they don't get sore feet or hoof rot. But that's not all. US goat farmers still have to do a rather controversial job, which is hunting coyotes. And more than 67 coyotes can be found in one night on this farm. In 2015, 83,000 goats died under the sharp teeth and lightning-fast reflexes of coyotes. This number accounts for a whopping 65% of the total goats that died that year. According to National Geographic, the US kills over 476,000 coyotes each year, but still can't control their numbers. This animal is thriving in 49 out of 50 states and also gradually heading toward the western US. So in addition to hunting, guard dogs, such as Anatolian Shepherds or Great Pyrenees, are also professionally trained by farmers to protect the farm. They do this job very well. Many farms also keep donkeys and llamas because they are naturally alert, know how to defend themselves when in danger, and are loyal to the goat herd. These protective measures have ensured that these meat goats grow up healthy. When they are about 8 to 9 months old and weigh 60 to 80 pounds, they will be sent to a humane slaughterhouse. Here, they are stunned and quickly bled to minimize stress. Some processing plants may use scalding and dehairing methods to improve carcass hygiene. After removing organs and cleaning, the carcasses are graded and inspected based on fat and muscle content. Then they are chilled to prevent bacterial growth. Finally, they can be cut into pieces, packaged and distributed to the market and consumers. In 2022, the US exported $1.47 million of goat meat and imported $128 million, mainly from Australia. Therefore, there is still a great demand for goat meat in the country. And that's how the goat farming industry in the US has developed sustainably over the years.